Welcome everybody to another edition of myStartUp.Live. I'm Kevin Allen, your host, and we are here from Hybrid Studios in Santa Ana, broadcasting to you live. Have a special show for you today about fashion technology. My Startup is about interviewing founders and CEOs of new startups in the nation, and want to feature Mr. Matt Tabai. Matt?
Hi, Kevin.
Matt is with CosmoMall. And tell me about CosmoMall, because obviously you're in fashion, but you're also in technology. So very interesting mix of the two.
Right. We're kind of the perfect blend of technology and fashion. So what we've created is a platform for emerging designers in fashion, and we connect them to consumers. So we've put a lot of technology together to really help that experience when people go online. Right now, the big barrier that we have is when people go online and they shop, they're not sure if they're going to get the right size, if they're going to get the same experience that they would if they go to a mall. When you go to a mall, you get to wear outfits, you get to talk to people, you get to get advice, and those are things that are missing online.
And try it on, really.
Yeah, and try it on. So what we've done is really created this platform. Our main thing that we're doing is really connecting these emerging designers, and there's thousands of them out there that have gone online, went from brick and mortar to online, and they're not really doing a good job of selling.
Yeah, everything from probably Amazon to Etsy to even their own e-commerce platform that they sell direct to.
Exactly. So we're a lot like Amazon and Etsy, with the big difference that Amazon's like a jungle. There's a lot of brands out there that are low quality. It's not really tailored to emerging designers that have quality products. So what we've done is we're very selective in who we bring on to our platform. And we have about 14 brands, 7 that are going to be used for our soft launch, which is in October, and another 7 that's going to be on in January. So
your experience, obviously, in the fashion world is not just recent. Tell me about your background with fashion, specifically also with CosmoMall.
Sure. So Amir and I actually came together. Amir is my partner. There was room for only one person, so I'm here today. But between the two of us, we have 10 plus years of experience in e-commerce. On my side, I did my first e-commerce site, which was actually geared towards women's apparel back in 2012 with my wife. So we started that, and that grew into a 7-figure business, and started realizing these pain points where we're bringing stuff from overseas and selling it in that $30 to $40 range. A lot of people were comfortable buying in that range, but now they're looking for quality. There's, really high returns for products that are coming from overseas because of the quality issues. And Amir was doing the same thing. He, launched a clothing line called Nizeth Beverly Hills in 2010. So we got together a couple of years ago. I was doing my thing, he was doing his thing. We started talking about the issues we're seeing in the market and how there's this lack of quality and really technology to help people,
And awareness, especially for an independent boutique brand that is just coming onto the market, getting out there, developing your own e-commerce platform, dealing with all the logistical issues that you already have to deal with from importation.
Exactly. So the beauty of what we do is we don't have to carry any inventory anymore. We're on the other side with the platform. So we're connecting these designer brands that have learned how to do drop shipping, and they've gone online, but what they lack is really the mechanisms that we have that helps them sell. So we have kind of we have patents around the ecosystem that we've built that helps them with the selling experience, and it also helps elevate their brand. So we're using influencer marketing. We have influencers that we brought into our platform, 150 plus. They're going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting for us.
What types of influencers are you working with? In other words, are they fashion bloggers? Are they just fashion? A lot of influential shoppers. Where do they come from?
Yeah, there's bloggers. There's a lot of influential people in the fashion industry that are influencers. They're mostly on Instagram and other too, but we're using Instagram micro influencers, for example. They have the 50,000 followers. They've been doing, may have been writing about fashion, but also more importantly, they've been promoting certain types of products on a limited basis. Yeah.
And you thought, from your experience with, what was the company called before that you were working that you grew to 7 figures?
So it's called Avesta.
Avesta?
There's two, so we had Crystal Boutique and Avesta.
Okay.
And our model there was primarily on selling in all these different marketplaces that were geared towards low quality. I mean, there's a lot of them. We sold on Amazon, on Walmart, and I don't want to say they're all low quality, but 12 different platforms, and so that's where we started seeing this problem. My partner and I seeing the issue that a lot of these platforms, they overcharge. There isn't any mechanisms to make sure what we're sending is good quality. They don't really care about the customer experience or the merchant experience, for that matter.
Well, probably even more importantly is the brand story. It's hard to tell a brand story when you're inside this gigantic mechanism of this machine, like, for example, Amazon.
Absolutely, yeah. And
it's hard to tell that story, and you're doing things that are going to help encourage the storytelling and awareness of each of these boutique brands.
Absolutely. We're elevating the brands. We're doing a lot of curated content and stories about the trends they're bringing from all these different, some of the stores we're talking about have presence in New York, LA. They have multiple brick and mortar stores, and they have great style. But the consumer doesn't really have access to those people because they're not doing a good job of elevating themselves to be seen out there in the right way.
What sort of technologies are you implementing now for this platform? So talking about the structure, it's e-commerce. Obviously, there's a website, and it's mobile friendly, and you can access these different brands that are initially 14. You mentioned
14 7 brands. For the soft launch, 14 total that have agreed to be a part of the platform.
And what technologies are you offering them right from the start?
So one of the main things, and this is again our experience of being on the other side, being on their side, and seeing some of the issues on the consumer side as well, was fitting. So we put together a 3-layer software around fitting that really reduces returns by up to 40%.
Wow.
in the testing that we've done. So
returns are costly.
They're very costly, especially a lot of people on the consumer side, because they don't have confidence in what they're buying. They'll buy 2 or 3 different sizes and return 2 if there's a return policy. And that adds an expense for the merchant.
And it's taking inventory away from the seller that could otherwise sell that size.
Exactly.
Okay.
And on the consumer side, what we found is when they have confidence with the software that we have, they have confidence they're getting the right size, they're more likely to purchase as well, because there's less risk, right? You're getting what you're expecting. So we have the software there that helps with fitting. We have mix matching that helps create sets for them, giving them advice. It's kind of a combination of machine learning and a human element that we have in there as well with our
So you've got some fashion experts that are sitting, and the micro-influencers that you mentioned, they're kind of helping to curate all those mix and match settings.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the main stuff that we're doing around technology. We're also involved with augmented reality, as you know. We're doing a booster campaign right now that's primarily to help us through the 90-day pilot that we have. So our MVP is done and our launch is October 1st. So the booster campaign using augmented reality is really to try to get our, create some brand awareness with people.
Of course.
Because we can constantly...
As well as to demonstrate that you're a technology company in the fashion space.
Absolutely.
Versus just a brand in the fashion space.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's like a human billboard.
So this is actually the shirt here Matt's wearing. This is a shirt that you can buy on CosmoMall.com.
It's actually on Booster.
Okay.
And we'll send you the link. It's booster.com/Cosmo.
Easy. That's easy enough.
And it should get you to the link. And pretty straightforward, cool shirts that have, you scan the logo and then you see the content pop up on the shirt.
Well, this is actually a great point. So I want to talk about this, and then we'll demonstrate how it works. But a lot of startups out there need to generate capital, and everyone talks about going out and finding an investor that's willing to pay for it. But one of the better options is probably one where you involve the community. So you're going out to the community and saying, here's a product that also integrates our technology, and it's going to help us generate capital to bring our business to the next phase. And it's kind of like a Kickstarter. It's an Indiegogo, but it's more almost bootstrapped in your own way. You know, you created a product that has your brand on it, and now you're selling it to your consumers.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know what we found, and we did this because we went through the friends and family round and raised quite a bit of money. This is a capital intense business, what we're doing, the platform that we've built. So finishing that cost a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
And we raised quite a bit from friends and family. This booster is just mostly brand awareness, but it's also raising that additional funds that we need to make sure we get through the 90-day pilot. We're almost there. Just making sure we get to the finish line, so we get the big investor that we have lined up to give them the data they need to write that big check.
Absolutely, and it certainly proves concept as well, which is great because it's showing the consumer what's possible using this technology. So we're going to go ahead and demonstrate this. I've got Matt's phone here, no special phone, just an iPhone, and he's just going to turn towards me. And you can see right away that the app, this is called Layer. It's just a simple augmented reality app. It recognizes the logo as we scan there. And you can actually click on this video, and now it's going to play that video on YouTube. So just a small possibility, so brands can start to integrate their logos into their clothing items. And we'll just refresh that. Try that one more time just to show concepts. There you go. So talk to me about how this works. What would this do for the fashion world to be able to sort of scan logos and even text? I mean, you can scan anything, really.
Yeah, it's like a giant human billboard, right? So people can use it for a number of things, but one of the main things here is that it could be used to give regular updates to the consumers. It could be exclusive, where, you know, if somebody bought a particular shirt, they can use the technology to give special promotions to that person. I mean, the possibilities are endless, but for what we're doing, we have a number of campaigns we're running where you saw we have the promotional video that kind of tells our story. We also have other content that we've created that shows our products in kind of a carousel style.
Sure.
And a lot of other projects that we're working on, but it's a good way to stay in touch with and update your follower base.
That's right, and I sort of cut it off, but let's go ahead and play that video. That's it just introduces CosmoMall, showcases kind of where they're at in terms of level.
I've always had a hard time picking the right outfit for a night out. Most of the time, I rely on my friends to pick dresses for me or give me ideas on how to mix and match my wardrobe. Now, with the help of CosmoMall and artificial intelligence, I get ideas from my own personal fashion consultant. I'm able to look my best at all times. It's like visiting a mall. I can try on different outfits and pick the best ones from the comfort of my own home. Thank you, CosmoMall.
I got to say, Matt, I love the brand. I love the brand logo, Cosmo, and certainly says that you're modern and hip, obviously. So it mentioned some of the elements you talked about. Augmented reality. We demonstrated that app. Artificial intelligence. That smart matching and size tools, as well as high-end e-commerce platform. So what's the long-term goal of this brand launch, and then obviously getting to the point where you're getting brands to call you?
Right. Yeah, so a great question. So our goal is really to start bringing in, so we have the right brands now. We want to be very exclusive in a sense, because the higher end stuff, the quality is almost needle in a haystack these days. There's thousands of designers out there, but they're not really represented on any platform. So we've hand selected the right brands, and that's really helping us keep that elevated fashion and our story, really, that we are a place for elevated fashion. I think that by itself is going to do a lot of the work for us, because people will know us as a place for these designers that have the great products that Neiman Marcus, Nordstrom, Saks have, but at 4 times the cost.
Of
So
course.
we're bringing value to
And
to
this
people.
allows also, I mean, obviously there's a CosmoMall in the middle, and you have some level of revenue generation from listing these brands on your site. And, I imagine there's a revenue model there.
Right, and what we do is we charge a commission. It's a 25% commission. It's really relative to all the different marketplaces we worked with previously. It's the best model. It's really fair.
So how
to
does
the
that
merchant.
compare to even a retail commission for a brand?
So retail, I mean, it depends. A lot of these guys are paying 40+%. To have their products listed somewhere. It depends on who they're dealing with.
Okay.
Some of the sites have, they want you to give products at a landing cost, and then they, up their price to whatever they want.
They get to control the price.
Yeah, some of them.
Okay.
There's so many different models that are out there, but a lot of them have because this sector has just been growing. Everybody's been going online. These businesses have been booming, quadrupling their revenue, and getting greedier. So they're up,
But
increasing.
with that commission that's paid by the boutique brand, they're getting access to not only the e-commerce element, which saves them a whole lot of time and money to develop. I mean, why would a fashion company be focused on developing e-commerce? It's better to join a network.
Absolutely. Yeah, we do all the heavy lifting for them. And, we've met a lot of these people because we're part of a network that all these designers are a part of as well. So a lot of them have actually found us and talked to us about their pain points. Some of them, they just decided to realize it's kind of like, okay, I have to get with the times and I need to go online. And they've gone online, they have no idea what to do. There's the old school folks that are still like, hey, I'm going to do this, but in a year or two. But right now it's at that cusp, is at that point where 70% of these guys are like, hey, we need help, we need a platform. And
they're starting to admit that they've hit their ceiling on capacity and capability in the tech space. So they need a tech partner. They need a tech partner who's focused on the fashion world.
Exactly, and what the platform we built is really easy because we were in that space. A lot of times uploading products can take time. You want to upload one at a time. We've really created a seamless platform where they can go in, they can get their uploads done in a few minutes. We have a 3-layer quality assurance process to make sure what they're bringing onto our platform is, the right, fit for us in terms of quality of the product, the material, the digital assets, and the content they're creating. We really spend a lot of time on that. We want to make sure everything is perfect.
And the fact that you can integrate into that multimedia through obviously the AR as well as on the site itself really enhances the capability of telling us the brand story of each one of these brands. Because the designers themselves are pretty interesting people, I know.
yeah, they can be. We spend a lot of time with them, and we love them, and it's been great getting to know them. So we're doing something for them that they really need badly. So we're getting.
I know a lot of startups hear the word no a lot. No from investors, no from customers. What's your reception been so far as you've presented this to both your future or potential customers as well as investors?
So future customers have loved it. So far, we did our micro testing. The results were great. We have 2 customers really, right? We have the merchant side, which is desperately kind of looking for this. So we've gotten a really good response there. Consumer side has been great in the micro testing that we've done, and our soft launch is going to validate that even further, right? We'll be able to optimize and go from there. On the investment side, we've lined up the right people. In this space, in e-commerce, you need to show data to get investment.
Statistics,
sell
statistics. Volumes.
It's all about the numbers, right, with them. So the good news is we've built some really good relationships there. We put them in the queue, and we've gone to the friends and family round and raised enough to get us here. I mean, there's a lot of cost to build a platform.
How long has it taken you to get to where you're at today, from sort of the moment you and Amir decided this was your next project to where you are today?
Well, we started in February or March of February. Actually, we started the discussion, and then Amir went full time in April, and I went full time in December of last year.
Okay.
and you know, we have a team. We have people that are working full time with us now in different areas, different departments. So a lot of people have believed in us to leave their jobs and come join us.
But you're full time with Amir now on this project as well. So you've fully committed to CosmoMall, and it's going to be your next big project.
Yeah, it has been that way for almost a year now, and you know, we did that on purpose. Like I said, I was doing the other business, which turned into a 7-figure business, but there's so much headaches of carrying inventory of.
So you had a business and you saw pains, and not only did you see those pains could be profitable, but it created the right atmosphere for you to launch this brand.
Absolutely.
How did you and Amir come together? What's your background? Show me before CosmoMall, even before your previous fashion company.
So first I'll talk about our friendship. So Amir and I go back about 12, 13 years. Okay. We met actually on the soccer pitch, and that's where, you know, our friendship developed.
Better?
I would say he's better than me. He's fast for being tall, and he's very technical, you know, and he not only can pass, can score too. I'm more of a striker. I wait for the ball and know how to, you know, move in small spaces, but we make a good 1-2 punch.
Do you think any of that translates to business? Some of those sports characteristics of each of you?
Absolutely. I think it does big time. So you know, between the two of us, we have, you know, usually they say in founders, you need that perfect mix of, you know, personalities to really be able to do things, and we complement each other well, and you know, and being able to work together. I think it's been a great partnership.
And that's something that's really interesting to me about founders that are co-founders, right? Sort of a 50-50 partnership is you have to work with this person every day, almost 20 hours a day, right?
Yep.
You start to see all their little ticks, right? Have there been any, you know, roadblocks along the way with the relationship, or how have you worked through those?
You know, it's normal in any business. You're going to have disagreements, and you're going to have days where you don't see eye to eye on things. But, you know, just being able to work, understanding each other and how we think has helped us be kind of methodical in how we approach challenges like that. So it's worked out. And like I said earlier, it takes a certain dynamic of people. Most people, it's like a marriage, right? Probably over 50% divorce, right? A lot of founders don't necessarily get along, but in our case, you know, thankfully so far it's been great.
Yeah, you guys really have a nice dynamic, and I appreciate that. And Amir wanted to be on the show, and we apologize to him that he couldn't join us, but Matt, you're representing well. Want to take a moment and sort of future think, right? Not just about CosmoMall, but where do you see fashion and technology coming together and marrying and into the future? What's that perfect scenario you see?
Well, I think you know, it's an interesting time because we're seeing technology change everything, right? Right now, the next 10 years, the world's going to look much different, and we're going through a major revolution. In fashion, it's been slow. They've been kind of slow to adapt, but we're in that transition time now. So the future is going to involve a lot of technology. Like we said, malls are shutting down. So how do we create that experience for people to feel the confidence they need to buy online, knowing what they're going to get is what they're expecting, and some of the cool stuff where you go to a mall. You know, some of the social elements, some of the you know, other elements of entertainment and gamification. There's so many things that are going to be going on the next few years in this space.
Which is why you're delivering some of these elements, including augmented reality, because you can have a lot of fun with that, as well as message quite heavily through that space. So you can even link to a different live video every week from a particular logo, or if it's reading an image map.
Absolutely. We can update people, and you know, we're doing it with shirts, with augmented reality. There's so many different things you could do. And the other, you know, talking about technology, augmented reality is another space that's been underdeveloped and
underutilized even.
And underutilized, and that's going to change. We're starting to see that in retail. You go to a CVS or a mall now, a lot of the products are starting to use it, but it still has a long way to go. But it's in the process of it going in the right direction.
And a lot of my fashion friends call them garments, right? Because if you're in the high-end fashion world, they're garments. They're not pieces of clothing. They're garments. And you can see where augmented reality allows that garment to come to life. Because we just did it. We saw a video that was your brand video just from a logo on a shirt.
Right.
See how far that can go.
That can go a long way, and it's going to be something we're going to see in the future for sure. And that's something we have some patents and some work that we put into.
Sure.
So we'll talk more about that when we get.
So how can some of our entrepreneurial audience help you? Let's talk about the booster campaign, and also what else are you looking for right now?
Sure. I think our primary mission right now is that booster campaign. We're really, in the area of raising funds is the key thing to make sure we get through our 90-day pilot. So the booster campaign is a good way for people they basically buy these shirts for a low cost, and a portion of that is actually going to Hurricane Irma. We're donating that because we wanted to bring
thanks for that.
value.
That's a great initiative.
Yeah, so people can go to our site and buy the shirts, and they will get the regular updates from us on what's going on. We're also doing special promotions and giveaways, so it'll be a really good opportunity for people to be a part of those promotions if they buy the shirts. We're doing a full launch in Los Angeles. I'm sorry, with a lot of our influencers and models in mid-January timeframe.
Yep.
Of course,
Start of the year.
We'll maybe working with you on that, of course. So that's going to be a big part of what we're doing, and we're going to use this. The people that buy the shirts, a few of them will get selected to be a part of that event. It should be a fun event as well.
So try it out, booster.com/Cosmo. You can buy the shirt today. I'm sure that's available in all the sizes. You can try out the app that we use to demonstrate that. It's called Layer. It's available on the App Store and Android Play, Google Play Store, so you can download it today. CosmoMall.com is your portal and website and e-commerce platform all in one. Again, Matt and Amir are really going to change the fashion world. I look forward to seeing where you guys are at in 5-10 years, right?
I appreciate that. And I think just finishing up on we talked about Booster, we're also looking for investors. We've been doing friends and family. If anybody out there is interested to learn more, to hear our pitch, we're looking to raise a little bit more money, not big sums of money, but about 30 or 40K over the next 3 months, just to make sure we get through everything. So
doesn't seem like a huge ask, and for something so innovative, especially in a world that has been untouched by fashion in many ways. Other than the media, this is really logistical, technical, and interactive content for the fashion world.
Absolutely.
So big events coming up. Any big events besides the soft launch, which is October 1st?
October 1st.
And the launch, which would probably take place around January in Las Vegas.
Correct.
Okay.
In Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Los Angeles. But so those are the two main events. We're also working on potentially having an event in mid to late October,
okay,
where we're bringing everybody in. We'll bring our models, our fashionistas, and kind of show off what we're up to folks. It's a dinner event, and it's tentatively scheduled for October 15th.
Okay.
So we're going to try to finalize that soon, and that's probably the next event.
All right. And using influencer marketing, changing the fashion world, integrated with technology, you got a booster campaign going on. You have a lot of good paths to success. So I want to wish you the best of luck in the future. Matt, thanks for joining us here on myStartUp.Live. And we'll see you next time on myStartUp.Live here on the Applebox Network.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.